You think she loves you because she looks at you? You're being harvested. Every text message, every glance, every moment of her precious attention. You've convinced yourself it's devotion. Brother, you're not her boyfriend. You're her emotional ATM, and she's making withdrawals every single day. Arthur Schopenhauer, the philosophical giant who remained unmarried his entire life, understood what modern men refuse to see. He wrote, "Nature has provided woman with dissimulation as her natural defense, and you're living proof of his wisdom. While you're celebrating her attention like a starving man grateful for crumbs, she's calculating the return on her investment. Think about last night. She texted you at 11 p.m., didn't she? Not because she missed you, but because she needed an emotional hit. Your instant response, your eager availability, your pathetic gratitude for her acknowledgement. That's not romance, that's transaction. She gave you attention, and you paid her in validation, time, and dignity. Here's what no relationship coach will tell you. Her attention is a debt instrument. Every smile, every conversation, every moment she spends with you creates an obligation in your mind to give her more time, more energy, more resources, more of your masculine essence. You think you're in a relationship, but you're actually enrolled in a payment plan where the principal never decreases. Schopenhauer saw through the biological programming that blinds men to this reality. He understood that what we call love is often nature's way of ensuring we become willing participants in our own exploitation. The tragedy isn't that women do this, it's that intelligent men like you can't see it happening. But today, that changes. Today, you learn to distinguish between genuine devotion and sophisticated debt collection. Today, you discover why the most celebrated philosopher of pessimism remained free while lesser men became slaves to feminine attention. Because once you understand the game, you can finally start winning it. Are you ready to see what's really happening in your relationships? Or will you close this video and return to comfortable delusion? Arthur Schopenhauer wasn't just another philosopher. He was a man who saw clearly through the romantic fog that blinds most men to reality. Born in 1788, he lived his entire 72 years without marriage, without the desperate need for feminine validation that destroys masculine authority. This wasn't misogyny, this was clarity. Schopenhauer understood that human behavior is driven by what he called the will to live, an unconscious biological force that manipulates our conscious minds into serving reproduction and survival. He wrote, "All love is rooted in the sexual impulse alone. Nay, it is absolutely only a more definitely determined, specialized and individualized sexual impulse." This is the foundation you must understand. Her attention serves the will to live, not genuine affection for you as an individual. When she focuses on you, she's not celebrating your unique qualities. She's assessing your utility in her biological and social program. Consider Schopenhauer's observation about feminine nature. Women are directly fitted for acting as the nurses and teachers of our early childhood, by the fact that they are themselves childish, frivolous, and short-sighted. This isn't an insult, it's recognition of different evolutionary functions. Women excel at nurturing and manipulation because these traits ensure survival and resource acquisition. In the 19th century, men understood this dynamic. Courtship had rules, boundaries, expectations of reciprocal investment. A woman's attention came with clear obligations on her part: domestic contribution, loyalty, genuine partnership. Modern men have abandoned these frameworks and wonder why they feel exploited. Today's relationship experts, therapists, and dating coaches teach you to be more attentive, more available, more willing to serve her emotional needs. They're training you to be a better emotional ATM, not a sovereign man. They profit from your confusion. Schopenhauer offers a different path. He recognized that the fundamental fault of the female character is that it has no sense of justice. This doesn't mean women are evil. It means they operate by different principles. They excel at extracting resources through emotional manipulation, because that's how they've survived for millennia. The philosopher who influenced Nietzsche, Freud, and Jung understood what modern psychology refuses to acknowledge. Genuine masculine authority requires philosophical detachment from feminine approval. Only when you stop measuring your worth by her attention can you command authentic respect. Now we move from understanding to application. Schopenhauer's wisdom translates into 5 non-negotiable commandments. For the modern man who refuses to be harvested, her attention is currency, not affection. Every text, call, or conversation is an investment she expects will pay dividends in your time, energy, or resources. Start tracking patterns instead of celebrating gestures. When she responds immediately to your messages, she's not showing interest. She's ensuring you remain available for future extractions. When she takes hours to respond, she's training you to be grateful for any acknowledgement. Both strategies serve the same purpose, keeping you emotionally invested while maintaining her leverage. Practical application. Document response times, conversation topics, and what she requests afterward. You'll discover her attention correlates directly with her needs, not her feelings. The man who recognizes this pattern can finally respond strategically instead of emotionally. Abundance destroys value. When you're constantly available, endlessly patient, perpetually accommodating, you eliminate the scarcity that creates desire. Schopenhauer understood that all satisfaction, or what is commonly called happiness, is really and essentially always negative only, and never positive. Your attention, your time, your emotional energy, these must become scarce commodities, not through manipulation or games, but through genuine investment in your own development and mission. The man with important work doesn't immediately respond to texts. The man with options doesn't rearrange his schedule for her convenience. Implementation strategy. Establish specific times for relationship communication. Maintain activities and relationships that matter to you independent of her approval. When she learns your attention is limited, she'll invest more effort to secure it. Every debt requires payment. If she's collecting on your attention, you must collect on hers. But understand the difference between her attention and her investment. Attention is what she gives you to keep you engaged. Investment is what she sacrifices to maintain your interest. Real investment looks like time spent on your priorities, effort to understand your goals, tangible contributions to your mission, sacrifices that demonstrate commitment. Attention looks like conversations about her problems, validation of her feelings, entertainment of her emotions. The strategic man distinguishes between these and withdraws immediately when investment stops flowing. You're not punishing her, you're maintaining the economic balance that makes relationships sustainable. Schopenhauer wrote about the will to live manipulating us through emotional attachment. Your feelings for her, your need for her approval, your fear of losing her. These are biological programs designed to make you exploitable. Emotional detachment doesn't mean coldness. It means outcome independence. The attached man fears her withdrawal and becomes increasingly desperate to maintain her attention. The detached man recognizes that her departure simply reveals incompatibility, saving him time and energy for better options. Practical detachment requires maintaining multiple areas of investment: your mission, your development, your brotherhood with other men, your individual interests. When your emotional well-being depends on one woman's attention, you've already lost your masculine authority. Finally, recognize that hypergamy, women's tendency to seek the highest value mate available, drives most feminine behavior. She's not consciously manipulative, she's unconsciously programmed to continuously assess and upgrade her options. Her attention to you serves this assessment process. She's gathering information about your resources, your status, your emotional stability, your future potential. Simultaneously, she's training you to provide more while expecting less, creating the conditions for her eventual departure when better options appear. The man who understands hypergamy responds by continuously developing his own value, while refusing to overinvest in any individual woman. You become the option she fears losing, not the resource she takes for granted. These commandments work because they align with biological reality instead of fighting it. Schopenhauer's wisdom gives you the framework to operate strategically within natural patterns, maintaining your sovereignty while building genuine attraction based on scarcity and value, not availability and servitude. Knowledge without action is philosophical masturbation. Schopenhauer's insights become power only when you implement them immediately and ruthlessly in your current relationships. Start tonight with a 48-hour attention audit. Document every interaction with women in your life: who initiates contact, what they request, how quickly they respond, what they offer in return. This isn't paranoia, it's data collection. Most men operate on feelings and assumptions. Sovereign men operate on evidence and patterns. Your first shock will be recognizing how one-sided these exchanges have become. You initiate most conversations. You respond immediately while she takes hours. You ask about her problems while she shows minimal interest in your challenges. You provide emotional support while receiving criticism disguised as communication. The resistance will be immediate and intense. Your conditioning screams that withdrawing attention makes you cold, selfish, uncaring. This is the biological program Schopenhauer identified, your own mind working against your interests. Push through this resistance like a warrior pushing through enemy lines. Implement strategic communication immediately. Establish specific windows for relationship discussions, perhaps 8 to 9 p.m., 3 days per week. Outside these times, you're unavailable for emotional processing, relationship analysis, or problem solving. This isn't punishment, it's boundaries. Successful men protect their mental energy like their financial resources. When she tests these boundaries, and she will, your response determines everything. The weak man apologizes and reverts to constant availability. The sovereign man maintains his position calmly and redirects to the designated time. She'll initially express frustration, confusion, even anger. This is exactly what Schopenhauer predicted: resistance to losing access to your resources. Your transformation accelerates when you start requiring reciprocal investment. If she wants your attention for her problems, she must demonstrate interest in your goals. If she needs emotional support, she must provide practical value. If she demands your time, she must earn it through genuine effort, not manipulation. The vision is clear. You become the man who commands respect through philosophical understanding and strategic behavior. Instead of desperately grateful for her attention, you become selectively available based on her investment. Instead of fearing her withdrawal, you evaluate whether she deserves continued access to your resources. Warning: most relationships will not survive this transformation. The women who were attracted to your availability will disappear when you establish scarcity. This is not failure, it's filtration. You're separating those who want to use you from those who want to value you. Continued weakness leads to inevitable exploitation and eventual abandonment. The choice is transformation or continued harvesting. Choose like your masculine authority depends on it. Because it does. Brother, you're not alone in this awakening. Across the world, intelligent men are discovering what Schopenhauer understood centuries ago. Feminine attention is a sophisticated debt collection system, and most men are paying compound interest on emotional obligations they never consciously agreed to accept. This is bigger than your individual relationships. We're witnessing the philosophical rescue of masculine authority from cultural feminization. Every man who implements these principles becomes a beacon for others still trapped in the attention economy. You're joining the ranks of men who see clearly while society profits from masculine confusion. The mission is simple: transform from harvested resource to sovereign authority through classical philosophical wisdom. Share this video to wake up your brothers still trapped in romantic delusion. Comment "debt collector" if you recognize the pattern in your own relationships. Subscribe for weekly philosophical frameworks that build unshakable masculine authority. Universities won't teach you this. Therapists profit from your confusion. Dating coaches sell you better harvesting techniques, not liberation strategies. Only here do you get the philosophical foundation that creates lasting transformation. The choice facing you right now is binary and urgent. Transform immediately into the philosophically awakened man who commands respect through strategic understanding, or remain the emotional ATM dispensing validation to women who view your attention as currency, not devotion. Every day you delay is another day of manipulation. another withdrawal from your emotional resources, another step toward the inevitable abandonment that awaits men who mistake attention for affection. Schopenhauer remained free because he understood the game. You can join him in that freedom, or you can continue paying debts you never owed to collectors who never loved you. Which man will you choose to be? The sovereign who understands, or the servant who provides? The choice is yours, brother. But choose quickly. Your masculine authority hangs in the balance, and the debt collectors are already circling. Welcome to the philosophical awakening. Welcome to your transformation. Welcome to true masculine sovereignty through classical wisdom. The revolution begins with your next decision.